In this episode of the Moto Outsider, we are heading across the pond to Europe to cover some key stories that we think need a little bit more attention leading up to the kickoff to the MXGP season. We're going to be covering all things Jeffrey Herlings, Tim Gajser, the Coenen brothers, and some other stories thrown in the mix as well that we think are not getting as much coverage as they should be heading into the 2023 MXGP season. As always, guys, my name is Matthew Huss. I am the host here of the Moto Outsider, joined as always by my beautiful long-haired co-host, Chris Baird, who is still in Las Vegas. My man, how are you?
I'm great, Matt. I'm just enjoying the beautiful weather. Well, kind of beautiful weather. It's getting dark out. What you up to today, Matt?
Dude, I am pumped to be talking about this because, one, I've never been to Europe. Two, I want to go. Three, I know you've been to Europe. And four, MXGP is absolutely sick. The guys over there are fast as hell, and we're talking about a few of them. So I'm pumped to be covering something a little bit different, even though it's in the same moto world without a doubt.
Yeah, man. MXGP is, I think it's my favorite series in general because I'm just more of a motocross guy. I love the sport as a whole, but MXGP is just, 17 to 20 races of the most brutal tracks, craziest, gnarliest guys in the sport. It's badass, and I love every second of it.
Got it, man. So I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you've seen both races live and in action. I've never been to any European races. You have.
Yep.
First question, who has the more passionate fans? The fans stateside or the fans that are over in Europe for MXGP?
Oh, dude, that's tough. You really did put me on the spot. Damn. I think the few destinations I've been to, I think the American fans tend to be a little bit more overzealous. They're very, loud. They let you know that they're there. There's a lot of Redbuds going around when you're at Redbud, but there's a lot of pride for your country when you go to a destinations race. They're both pretty close. I'm not gonna say America's crazy lead, but it's pretty close. All
right. So question number 2 then.
Okay.
Fastest riders. Are they in Europe or are they in the States?
It's just you can't. I don't even think you can do it. I think it's apples to oranges because you got Supercross and motocross, two different sports technically, and I don't know. You see these guys come over from Europe and they don't always stack up to be the best. But you get Dylan Ferrandis, Marvin Muscan. We've been lucky to have some great riders come over and race with us. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Got it. All right, man. Let's jump right into the stories. You ready to roll?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's roll, dude. So number 1, the Bullet, Jeffrey Herlings. My guy is back. It is coming up on his first race of 2023, and it's his first race in over a year. Give me some Jeffrey Herlings info and what your thoughts are with everything going around with him coming back.
Well, first of all, I'm super excited, and I just hope he stays healthy. It's been a long year without him. Unfortunately, we lost one of the main competitors in MXGP, and we'll cover that in a little bit. But Jeffrey's back. I feel like his odds to win the title this year are better than ever. Looking really good for him. Do have some questions about him and his bike and everything going on, but he raced this weekend for the first time. He pulled a 2nd overall in the second moto for 4th overall on the day. Not his usual self, but I think the first race jitters probably were in effect a little bit. So I'm glad to see him come out of there healthy. And a couple more weeks, we're going to be seeing all these guys line up for the first time. I'm excited.
No doubt. Dude, now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there this was a while ago, too. Wasn't there some rumors or something going around of Herlings coming over to race a few outdoors in the States? I think this was back, circa 2000, maybe 14, 15, 16. Was that true, or am I off on that?
Well, actually, it was supposed to be last year in 2022. There were rumors that he was going to come race the Outdoor Nationals because he might have been healed up in time, but it didn't end up happening. So
if it did, how do you think Herlings would have stacked up in the outdoors with, he still would have had fantastic factory support, but new environment, new tracks, new racing style. How do you think he would have fared?
Well, I should have probably followed that up with, he did come over, I want to say it was 2019, 2018, and he absolutely smoked everybody. He raced the last round at Ironman. Jeffrey has proven time and time again that he's stupid fast. He's very talented. But back in, I think, 2017, we had a USGP in North Carolina, and him and Cooper Webb had a pretty good battle in the MX2 class. So, again, it's really hard to tell. I think he is significantly faster than 90% of our guys, but I think it'd be a pretty close battle today with a lot of our top guys.
If you watch the kid ride, it's unbelievable. Now, mind you, it's unbelievable to watch any factory-level rider just let it all hang out and go for it, but watching him, there's just something special about it because I think he's one of those generational talent type riders.
Yep.
Do you think this is my last question, then we'll move on. But do you think Herlings has anything to prove in this, whether it's the MXGP, whether it's coming over and doing outdoor nationals, or do you think he's proven that he truly is one of the fastest guys on the planet? I mean, to answer my own question, I think he's already proven that, but do you think he's leaving anything on the table that he needs to clear up and get out of the way?
I do think he needs to, and I don't think it'll happen this year, but I think he needs to do like a full season and, injuries preventing like anything else from changing. Like we need him Gajser, we need all the guys in MXGP, and we need him to finish a full season with no injuries, no big crashes, and also not having the title, handed to him, quote unquote, because someone else gets hurt. And also Supercross, there's a lot of questions about that. There was a race a few years ago overseas in October that they did, and he did well, but the track was super easy. So we need to get him on like a real Supercross track, in my opinion, to say he's like either the best or one of the best overall, because he's obviously one of the greatest, fastest outdoor riders, but we don't know how he compares in Supercross. Other than that, I think he top 5 all time ever, in my opinion. Just again, pure
Solid.
Speed, talent, all that. So yeah, a couple things I just want to cover really quick. He's going to be coming into the season on a new bike. He got hurt last year testing the new bike. Again, it's hard to tell if he hadn't ridden that bike before because they're allowed to run different frames. So he could have ran that bike for a prior season, but we don't know if he's actually been on this brand new KTM for a full year yet. See how he does with that, bike setup, all that kind of stuff. And again, he had 2 heel injuries, 2 foot/heel injuries. He had repaired, fixed, touched up. Those are injuries that don't always heal up 100%. So I'm curious to see if he has any lingering effects from that. But otherwise, super excited. Can't wait to see him race. And I think that the other guy should be a little worried because he had a whole year off. He's going to have some stuff to prove.
No doubt. And well, you already mentioned it. So let's talk about some of the other guys.
Yeah.
Tim Gajser. My man snapped his femur, which is a huge bummer because this is the talent we want to see going up against Herlings. But dude, was in Italy, snapped his femur. Not the news that anybody wanted to hear before we even kicked off the season. What are your thoughts on everything Tim Gajser?
Nothing but disappointment, honestly. Again, I was looking forward to a good full season of him and Herlings battling it out. But yeah, just a stupid crash. I'll play the video for everyone to see. Really just unfortunate, and there's not much he could do. It just sucks for the competition in the field. I think there's some really good guys this year. I think with Koldenhoff winning this past weekend at Hawkstone, and Jeremy Seawer, he's been really, really impressive to start the year off on the new Yamaha. I think those guys are going to be really competitive and real feisty at the first round, but just a bummer for Tim. He's come off a few really good seasons, and he's been the guy. I still think he is the guy at this point, just because of how fast and just consistent he's been typically. So bummer for Tim. Hoping the Taiga heals up, and we'll hope to see him back maybe sometime this summer. I hope he's not out for the whole year. It would suck.
I mean, I don't even knock on wood, and thank God I've never broken my femur, but I know that is a very large bone, and I have no idea what that road to recovery process would even look like. Although I'm sure it's going to be very uncomfortable and not pleasant, but it's just, that when these guys are riding at that level, you could keep them off the bike for a year, put them back on a bike, and they're still top 10% speed worldwide. So, he'll be back and coming out swinging. So, dude, the third and final topic, man, before we wrap everything up, we touched upon this in the last video about brothers in Supercross. Dude, the Coenen Twins. It's their first year race in MX2. How do you think they stack up against the rest of the field? And also, too, man, it's just sick to see brothers and family elements riding at the top level of these sports, man. It's just sick.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that they both had some experience in the EMX class, so I think they're going to be ready to go, essentially, when the season starts. I don't know if they'll start out winning, but Lucas has already won a few preseason races. He looks like he's the faster brother right now. Sacha is still fast, but maybe not up to speed yet. Lucas riding for Husqvarna, and Sacha's riding for the factory KTM, so they both have really good rides. I expect them to be top 10 right away, no doubt. If they're not top 10, then something's wrong. But I see them developing and becoming something really special. We're kind of looking at like another Lawrence brother deal here. They are actually signed with Lucas Myrtle, who is the agent for the Lawrence brothers. And those boys are coming over to America next year. That's the rumor. So full year MXGP, and then they're going to be the next big thing here in the USA. I'm super excited. I don't honestly know a ton about them, but I know that they're fast. They've been riding really well. And they got some big things coming up. And again, if you're getting signed to factory bikes, you're not just buying that. You know, it's not. We talked about like with Hayden Deegan.
Yep.
You don't just buy your talent. Like these kids got to be good. And to see twin brothers, this is kind of a unique situation. So
100%.
I don't know about you, but I'm super excited. I love the new stories and the new flavors over in America. We've seen Tom Vial have some good success so far. So let's see how these boys adapt to Supercross when they come over next year.
Dude, one thing, man, if they do come over, that's a good point. I didn't know that. So thank you for bringing that up. Because if they come over, that puts a lot of heat on other riders in the 250 class, you know, whether they separate their brothers like Hunter Lawrence and Jet, or if they're going to race the same coast when it comes to Supercross. That'll be interesting because that puts a lot of pressure on some of the gate spots that might be up for grabs, or, you know, that's just pulling some of the spots away from privateers. So it's just thickening the plot and the competition in the States.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Supercross Futures, and I don't know, it's just, you know, there's like Julian Ballmer. He just signed with the KTM team for the MX, or I call it MX2 because we're talking about the GPs, but he signed with the 250 class ride, and he raced Futures for the first time on the KTM, previously with Yamaha. But, you know, a kid like him, and you got Daxton Bennick, someone who wasn't guaranteed a star ride unless he did really well and won those Future races. There's some really, really talented kids that did not and still don't have really good rides. Then you bring two more people over who could take up those rides. You're right. You're taking away spots from guys over here, but I think that they're going to let their talents show this year, and if they do well out in the MX2 class, I think that they're deserving of good rides, and they're so young. They have such a bright future ahead. I think they're only like 16 or 17, so no reason we can't see these kids be in the sport for a long time. And dude, I'm stoked up. Shout out to Lucas Myrtle. That guy, he finds the talent, and he makes stuff happen. It's really impressive. 2024 is going to be a good year for us, I think.
I think so, man, and it's going to be fun to watch both how this year wraps up with Supercross in the States, heading into outdoors, and then what goes on with MX1 and MX2 overseas. It's going to be going to be fun to watch. So, dude, to wrap everything up, we've already announced our giveaway winner for the 500 subscribers. Our next giveaway drawing is at 1,000. So, guys, if you want to enter that drawing, please subscribe to the channel and then comment down below if you want to win a Rider replica jersey or a Moto gift card of your choice. So, super easy to enter, and honestly, it's free to enter. So why not throw your hat in the ring and see if you can make something happen? But Chris, before we sign off, man, anything else you want to throw on out there before we head back to the States and do our show back in the States?
Oh man, yeah, just keep an eye on the channel. We're going to be dropping a full MXGP preview because there's a ton of stuff to talk about. A little more in depth with Romain Febvre and his new Kawasaki, obviously the new Yamaha, and seeing how Stewart, Koldenhoff, those guys do. There's rumors that Gajser's been riding a 24 prototype Honda. Vital MX had a pretty good article about that, so check that out. We're going to get into that a little bit more deeper, and then the MX2 class. There's just so much stuff to cover in the MXGP series, so we're going to get to that next week. And just, again, I want to thank you guys for all the support. We love making these videos. Please just keep following along. The videos are only going to get better over time. So thanks again for everything, guys.
No doubt. And we had a really awesome comment from a viewer in our last video saying how this was the best, show for unbiased news support and just where he was going to come back to get all his moto news. And while we are certainly new to the media game, we are not new to motocross at all. So our goal with this channel, guys, just to remind you, is that we're going to come out swinging with the best unbiased, unfiltered opinion on the sport and everything that's going on in it. We're not loyal to any one rider or any one team. Yeah, we're bench racers, but we just have fun doing this. So we can't thank you guys enough for all your support, man. It means a lot. So from both Chris and myself, thanks so much for stopping by on this episode, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
3, 2, 1.